Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm done with Florian Wirtz. I'm sick of Aston Villa assets. I've got no Haaland, no Fernandes, and no Semenyo. I think it's time to wildcard. So in today's episode, I take you through my wildcard essentials, and I'm also going to take you through my wildcard draft. So let's get into it. So before we take a look at my wildcard team reveal and draft, let's take a look at some must-haves, some players who I think are essential for the wildcard, and Bruno Fernandes is one of them. He comes in at 9 mil, so around a high price, easy to get to the likes of Cole Palmer with minor surgery, takes pans. He's predicted to get around 30 points over the next 6 game weeks, has 2 good fixtures next, Brentford next and then Sunderland, so really is an all-arounder in terms of DEFCONs, 11, on average per 90. Over 3 XGI this season already. So again, does feel like an all-rounder. I think Manchester United are going to get better. He does seem to have plenty of routes to points. And the fact he's not picked up an assist yet is quite surprising considering how creative he has been in previous seasons. But I think that will come. So for me, Bruno Fernandes has the full package. Nobody will be surprised to see Antoine Semenyo in here. 7.7 million now, so he's risen 0.7 million since the start of the season. Obviously plays for Bournemouth, who are, they're playing well. They're playing better than many expected. He's on hand. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists so far this season. One of the best performing assets in the game. He's also predicted to get around 27 points. He's averaging 8 to 9 DEFCONs per game as well. And he actually hit DEFCON in his most recent match. Obviously has a nice fixture against Leeds, but I don't think fixture matters too much with Bournemouth. They seem to play, without fear. And that goes for their upcoming game against Man City away from home as well. I wouldn't rule him out getting something in that. So for me, Semenyo is an absolute essential for the wildcard. So, Erling Haaland, the Manchester City striker, another obvious one, striker and penalty taker, leading one of the best attacks in the league. He's already managed 6 goals in his first 5 matches. He's already mustered up 10 big chances, and obviously, so he's looking super, super active, which also contributes massively to captaincy, right? You want a captain who is not only getting points, but looks like he's going to continue to get points. I think this is why a lot of people are thinking about switching from Salah to Haaland, because Salah isn't looking the part, whereas Haaland is looking the part and he's picking up the points and he has fantastic fixtures ahead. So for me, Haaland feels like an absolute shoo-in for wildcarders. My fourth and final wildcard essential pick is Marco Senesi of Bournemouth. Centre-back has managed more DEFCONs than any other player, a huge 66. Now, he also has a 100% DEFCON success rate, so that means he's managed 2 points for DEFCONs in every single one of his matches. The Bournemouth have also managed 3 clean sheets, which is fairly good in their first 5 matches. Senesi's managed to get an assist. He also is predicted to get around 23 points over the next 6 game weeks. So for me, at 4.7 million, he's got multiple routes to points in clean sheets and DEFCONs. And I do really fancy his chances long term. In fact, he was one of the first defender picks into my wild card. So for me, Senesi does feel like an essential. So, starting in goal, I've gone for David Raya. Now, I really, really like the Arsenal defence going forward and long term. I think doubling up on that backline could be hugely kind of rewarding. I do see Arsenal keeping plenty of clean sheets moving forward. They've looked really strong in all of the games. I think the Champions League away clash against Athletic Club really caught my eye, how professional, the performance they put in. It was really professional and they were defensively super, super solid. So, and also, there's not many great goalkeeper options. We've already heard that there could be potential rotation for Sanchez, who picked up a red card recently. Obviously, he is eligible to play this week because he misses the cup game. But still, it's not ideal. If there's future rotation on the horizon, I think avoiding Sanchez could be key. So for me, David Raya, 5.5 million, just keep him in there and he'll rack up those clean sheets, I imagine. I also really like Dubravka still. He is the only playing 4 million goalkeeper in the game, so I think he is still a great option. Could also be really helpful for bench boost further down the line. Game week 8, Burnley play Leeds, which could be a good opportunity to use it. So really, really happy with the setup. Raya, really great option. I think he's fantastic as part of a defensive doublet for Arsenal. And obviously Dubravka, for those who want a bench boost in 8, could be a great option. Could be a great option long term anyway, right? So in defence, you won't be surprised to see Senesi, obviously one of my wildcard essentials, really, really cheap, playing for a good Bournemouth side who have kept 3 clean sheets, top for DEFCONs among all defenders, so why not put him in? Another why not put him in is pretty much Gabriel. He's a good way to double up on the Arsenal defence. We've seen that he's got attacking threat, and with obviously Saka coming back from injury, we saw a lot of Saka assists, Gabriel goals, or at least a few last season from corners, and I think with Saka back, it does really increase Gabriel's appeal overall. He also covers that premium price point that you kind of want to cover, because there are other options you could switch to. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk has been excellent as well. Now, with the Tottenham defence, the fixtures are still great. The fixtures are still there. I think, Frank is going to keep a lot of clean sheets for Tottenham this season. So for that reason, I'm sticking with Van der Ven. I mean, I did originally have Porro. He's not really shown much attacking threat at all. Van der Ven has already scored. I know it's not sustainable. I know he's not going to keep doing it, but he's a little bit cheaper. He might get DEFCONs. So I really like Van der Ven. I think below, sub 5 million defender playing for Tottenham is just a really, really good pick. Now, my 4 million defender, I've actually gone for Rodon. I did originally have a Stav. I think if I'm bench boosting around 8, I don't really want to put my bench boost reliance all on the Burnley defence. The Leeds fixtures are actually better short term than Burnley's as well. So I don't mind a change and shake it up a little bit and go for Rodon. It also helps that, he's been doing all right in terms of DEFCONs. Again, the fixtures get better. So for me, I really like him. Now, Crystal Palace have so many great options. Obviously, Lacroix, Munoz, but I really like Richards at 4.5 million. Very, very cheap. There are a lot of great cheap options in defence this season. Richards is averaging between 9 and 10 at DEFCONs per 90 this season, which is very, very good. He also hit DEFCONs, when the likes of Lacroix, who's 5 million, didn't in the previous match. So really like Richards long term. I like this defence, and I'm not too sure what much more I can do in terms of changes, but really like how it is so far. So let's take a look at the midfield. So you can see that 2 of my 4 wildcard essentials make my midfield, Bruno and Semenyo. Bruno, we've already discussed him. Pans, it feels like a 90-minute man. He's hitting DEFCON. Good fixtures. I think the United attack will get better. So he does feel like an overall great asset. And so does Semenyo. There doesn't seem to be many standouts in midfield at the moment this season, but Semenyo is one of them. 3 goals and 2 assists in just 5 matches, making one of the most in-form attackers since the start of the season. Now, I've also added NDI into the mix. Everton look really, really promising offensively this season, don't they? I mean, it feels like they've got a new lease of life since last season. They've got Dewsbury Hall, they've got Grealish, and obviously NDI from last season. He's on pans. They've got no Europe, Everton, as well. So they're going to be starting with a similar lineup every single week. So I'm really, really confident in NDI. He's a nice price at 6.5 million. He's ticking on by as well. He's also a DEFCON monster among attackers. So he feels like another easy option. I also really like Kudu still. I know he's not been among the goals. I know he's not had too much attacking threat. I know he's not been as convincing as other attackers, but 4 assists in 5 matches is still very, very good. I know we want goals, and I expect goals to come. I already mentioned this the other day on Twitter, on X. I mentioned that Kudus showed his goal threat in the World Cup, AFCON, the Champions League, the Europa League. That goal threat is going to come through. I'm convinced of it. So, if he's already creating, I just think it'll be a matter of time before he's scoring. It could be an excellent option in my point of view. In my opinion. He also has long-term fixtures, right? The fixtures are still really good for Tottenham. And obviously, under Frank, we have seen massive improvements from them. So for me, I'm going to keep Kudus in. He's a nice price. I'm not too sure what I'd do with the money anyway, if he was a cheaper option. Now, I also like Reinders. He managed an assist in his latest game against Arsenal. I did have him in my wildcard draft before that assist, and that assist obviously kind of cements his position. He is one of the best options at 5.5 million now, actually. I think he took a drop. He's constantly starting for Man City. If you look at the Manchester City midfielders, yes, there are some options, but they're not guaranteed to start, whereas Reinders feels like he constantly is starting every single match. We saw his attacking threat from Milan last season. That attacking threat has continued. 3 attacking returns in 5 games is not bad at all for Reinders. So for me, he's an absolute, I'm keeping him 100%. I'm not looking to replace him with anyone else. Anderson, yes, will maybe tick by for obviously Nottingham Forest, but I think Reinders is and has been and still is a much better option. So that is my midfield so far. I'm super happy with it. So no surprise to see Erling Haaland there. Obviously, one of the major reasons people will be wildcarding this week. I think he's reliable for captaincy moving forward. He's got great fixtures, so definitely think he could be worth the price tag, unlike Salah, who isn't looking that lively at the moment. I've also gone for Victor Gyökeres of Arsenal. Arsenal's fixtures have been not great at all. Obviously they've had Liverpool, they've had Man City, but now the fixtures are starting to get better for Arsenal. And Victor Gyökeres has already shown that he can score in good fixtures. Did it against Forest, did it against Leeds. So questioning, if he's worth the money is reasonable, but I just think if you look at the fixtures, he's good against bad teams, and Arsenal have quite a lot of bad teams coming, or at least ropey defences coming out for him to prove that he's worth his money. So he keeps starting, which is good. I also really like João Pedro. I was considering getting rid of him, but I think the injury to Palmer, or at least the issues that Palmer is having with his groin, makes João Pedro more of an easy addition to my team. I do think he's been one of the best performing strikers in the game so far. He's been ticking away. Looks amazing as well. Looks class on the ball. And obviously one of Chelsea's best attackers. So for me, no Chelsea attack is not an option. And obviously with Palmer's issues, it feels like having João Pedro, it does feel like more of an easy decision. So again, I've gone for three, quite heavy strikers, no cheap options here, although I do maybe like Thiago, but I just think I'm really, really happy with Gyökeres, Haaland and João Pedro. I think if one was to go, it would potentially be João Pedro, but I really can't see me getting rid of him. So guys, I've hit my 500 sub target. I've now got 500 plus subscribers, so I'm super, super thankful for those who have subscribed. My next target is 1K, so if you're yet to subscribe, please hit the like and subscribe button right now, and I'll see you guys again soon.